Hi, this is Matt from Surprise Comics coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to take a chance and make a submission for Bigeez contest, 10 comics from the 90s. A little throwback issue, so I'm going to show you some stuff that reminds me of the 90s. We start with this, Nightwing #1, came out in 1996. And what this, you think back to when Dick Grayson was created back in the 40s, and it took all the way until the 90s before he got his own unlimited solo series. Which, compared to nowadays, if a character has their first appearance is popular, you can expect them to have their own series, 1 or 2 months later. Things like Silk and Spider-Gwen and things like that, you don't have to pay your dues anymore. But here's Nightwing #1. Next comic I'm going to show you is Batman 510. Not that this issue has any significance, I just want you to pay attention to the ears on Batman's head. Is that not the most ridiculous design for Batman's cowl you've ever seen? You know Batman's, Bruce Wayne, Batman's like 6'3" to 6'5". So with, another foot added on, he's like walking around, with his head on those ears, another foot or two taller. He's probably can't even walk through a simple doorway anymore. But I'm glad they've went away from that with a more regular length of ears. And yeah, I think that's much better. Next one, we all remember what Neil Adams was up to in the 90s, remember? No, of course you don't remember. This is what Neil Adams did during the 90s. After he burnt a few bridges, I believe, he went to started his own company, I think. It's Now Comics. And he was drawing Mr. T and the T-Force. I've always been a huge Mr. T fan. He's one of my favorite non-fictional characters. But it's just great. I remember I don't have my original copy, but I remember getting it at San Diego Comic-Con and getting it signed by Mr. T. And I wish I still had it because he put "Don't be a sucker, Mr. T" on it. And every kid that came up and got an autograph got a little message like "Drink your milk," and he'd sign his name, or "Stay in school," and with his name after it. And it was such a blast to meet him. He was one of my heroes growing up. So that's Mr. T and the T-Force #1. Artwork by Neil Adams. The other thing I remember from the 90s are the relationships. So I used in this comic we always had all this relationship drama. Comics got a little more soap opera during that time. Or maybe they've always been that way, but it just seemed that way to me. Probably the most famous one was Rogue and Gambit. That's why I chose that. And the thing that defines the 90s more to me than anything else was Image Comics. So I'm going to show you some of my Image stuff. We have Who is Shadowhawk #1. And these guys were at all the conventions back in the day, so I got that signed by Jim Valentino back in the day. I remember this one came out being one of the hottest books right away ever. I was so excited when I got it. I was going to be a millionaire someday from this book. I remember, I had a friend offer me $40 for it, and I laughed at him. Yeah, I wish he'd give me $4 for it now. But it was a great introduction to how I first saw J. Scott Campbell's artwork was this issue. And now he's gone to be one of the most famous cover artists. I also got The Savage Dragon by Eric Larson. That one's autographed as well. And I remember we also had these comics come out during the 90s. I think they're called Ash Cans. And I don't see them as often anymore. But yeah, this was supposed to be the hot new thing. Everyone was excited about it. These little mini comics. And so I got myself an Ash Can. I made sure I got autographs so it'd be worth tons of money someday. And then of course, I also have this one, which symbolizes everything about. It's called Splitting Image. It's a parody of Image done by Image. And some pretty funny stuff in here. I'm going to open it up and give you guys a look. First off, we have the Jolly Green Drag Queen. I don't think they would try that nowadays. We got some other funny things in here. You know, we got this guy over here that has tire streaks all over his face. You just open up just the goofy artwork all throughout, making fun of their styles. And still, it's like, even when they're making fun of it, you know, we have Wolverine down here and Psylocke, they still are like over the top. We got Jim Lee making fun of that. And we also, of course, have advertisements in there for other Image works. So, just a weird old thing I picked up. I don't remember when. Here's the actual story if you want to know more about the Jolly Green Drag Queen. And we got Shadowhawk with the anvil forehead for some reason. But, you know, we got Spawn with some reason he has a splash page as his chain coming out of his forehead, and real funny stuff. You know, Wild Kits, Coma Force. So that's the Splitting Image. The last comic I'm going to show you is, of course, The Adventures of Superman, still in the original poly bag. And I realized when I was getting my books ready, I don't even know what this comic book looks like. So I'm going to do a special treat for everyone who's like me. I'm going to take this comic that's been in this poly bag for 25 years or whatever it's been out, because I've decided I've already been through college, so I don't need it for that anymore. And so it's time to take it out of the bag and actually get a look at what's inside this bag. You can see I'm actually opening the bag. And this probably is going to be worth a lot more money because it's a lot more rare to find one of these out of the bag than in the bag. So I'm probably doing myself a huge favor right now. But here we go. The unveiling of The Adventures of Superman 500. And that actually introduces our next topic. For my 10th book, it's not actually a book. It's something that I bought instead of books for many years. Comic book trading cards. So I'm going to show you guys some of my old comic book trading cards from back in the day. We'll start off with looking at Marvel masterpieces. Give you guys a good look. I don't know how many of you guys bought these back in the day. It seemed like they were bigger than comics back then. I didn't take good care of it. I got them back to back. That was a big no-no. These are the original pages. I put them in all those years ago. Or maybe not, I don't know. There's fun stuff. The Marvel masterpieces, they chose an artist each year who went through and did really good work. I'm not sure who did this series. I know the first series is done by Joe Jusko. I'm not sure if he did these ones as well. No, these were done by T.J. Hildebrandt. Or I'm sorry, T.G. Hildebrandt. So I'm not too sure who he is. I'm sure other people do. I love comics. I love the artwork, but I'm not too up on artist names and things like that. But probably should learn a little bit more about that stuff. And the other set I want to show you was the Marvel Universe set. These are really cool. You get something cool where you could connect all 9 cards on a page to form another image. And I'm missing some of my cards from this set. I don't know what happened to them. But, so some of the pictures aren't complete. But these are fun to collect. Yeah, here's the X-Men page. This was my favorite page. I'd look at this over and over again. Now, on the back, it shows you their abilities and stuff. And you can look at them and see Magneto's powers and what level he was. You can see he was a number 5 intelligence. Mental powers were a 2. His fighting ability was a 4. And his energy projection was a 6. I'm not sure what scale that was out of. We see Archangel with his speed of 5 and strength of 2 and everything about that. And another part of this set that was really cool is that the back, at the end of the set, we got these verses pages. And you could read about, you know, a lot of my comic book knowledge back in the day came from reading the backs of these cards. You got a little mini lesson in the different origins, the different rivalries. You know, we have famous battles, War Machine, and it's, I guess he fought himself because there's no one else on that card. We have the origins here. You can read the back of the card and find out how Dr. Doom became Dr. Doom, the fate of the X-Men, origin of Cable, and Ghost Rider, all that stuff. There's some more battles, and that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. And everyone have a good night, morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Take it easy.